If you're a network manager, you already know the pressure. Things are getting more complex. The users expect everything to just work. There's less time, less staff. So agentic AI seems like a great opportunity to improve things. HPE is rolling out new capabilities, agentic AI capabilities for the Juniper Mist platform, the first major update since the merger went through. It's my pleasure today to be speaking with Jeff Aaron from HPE to hear more about what these capabilities really will mean for you. Hi, Jeff. Welcome back to NextGenInfra.io.
Hey, Jim. Great being here. It's been a while, so it's good seeing you again.
It is.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, thank you. So, this week HPE announced a series of enhancements and upgrades to its Juniper networking portfolio. So first I wanted to ask you about the use of the Juniper name. It lives on.
It does live on. Yeah, right now, we're all one BU called HP Networking, and we are bringing together the best of all worlds. So there's HP Aruba Networking and HP Juniper Networking, and we're going to continue to use both. And even beyond that, right? There's still things like Mist and Aruba, and we're gonna work those out and figure out how they all come together in harmony. But yeah, for sure, everything is living on, and it's all coming together as part of a common vision and a common platform.
That's good to see. So I know that the announcement talked about agentic AI features in the Juniper Mist platform. So, what does agentic AI mean to you?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, right? Because I think there's a lot of we went from AI washing to agentic washing, right? Everyone's using that term, and now I expect to go in the grocery store and see the old lady at the checkout counter, talking about agentic AI. I think if you look at like Andrew Ng, the preeminent data scientist at Stanford, has a couple criteria for agentic. If you kind of walk through those a little bit, it's, does it have, openness and the ability to kind of pull in data from third-party systems like open APIs, right? Does it do reinforced learning? So it's kind of, always getting better and improving. And I think more importantly, is it using, autonomous workflows that can go out, make decisions, give actions, across different areas and come out with predictive stuff. So I think that's the gist of the definition. I think what's important for us is that agentic is a catalyst to the journey to self-driving that we've been on for 10 plus years, right? We've talked many times on the show, and I've had the chance to work with you on this, and that this starts with collecting the right data, applying AI ML data science to that, using domain expertise, ultimately going to recommendations that are either human assisted or fully autonomous, right? And like we said, we call those 5 stages of the journey to self-driving, with the 5th one being full autonomy, like a full Uber or Waymo that's out there doing its thing. And agentic for us is kind of between 4 and 5. It just makes it move that much quicker, right? And so we already have open APIs to work with folks like Zoom and Teams. We already do reinforced learning with our support tickets coming in and going through our AI engine. We already have Marvis minis, which are digital experience twins, which are out there, pinging different parts of the network and giving recommendations. This just takes it one step further. It makes the model that much richer and that much more scalable. And that's why we're super excited about adding some of these capabilities.
Yeah, speaking of the model, so often we're talking about large language models, but here it seems you guys are talking about the large experience module or
Yeah,
model.
let me talk about it. So LEM is a piece of our model. So we're definitely using large language models to do things like, it was document queries, now it is more real-time troubleshooting. So we've used LLMs, we use agentic workflows to really just enhance the model, make it more conversational, more accurate. In that respect, it's like you woke up one morning and you move from GPT 4.0 to 5.0. Right. It's the same interface, the same questions that we've been answering for a while. It just got better, crisper. That's LLM and agentic.
Okay.
LEM, large experience model, is a very specific use case, right? That's where we're pulling in billions of data points from Zoom and Teams in particular. So you can correlate what's happening in real time across, clients, and correlate that with networking information and server information. So if this video call went bad, you would very quickly know what's going on and how to fix it or even predict it in the future. So that's,
And you're trying to make that, you're trying to make that into a digital twin then?
So that's a great question. So LEM to date was pulling in the digital experiences, and one of the things that we've announced is we've actually now added digital twinning to that, right? So all the data that we have for Zoom and Teams, we now can also complement that with synthetic data. So, for example, on Sunday night, I can go test the network. I can go compare that to some of the video information I've had from the week, and I can say, look, Monday morning, you have a big video call coming up. It's not going to work, right? So let's go fix that before that call happens. So that's what we've done with the LEM. We were the first with an LEM model. Now we've expanded that with the synthetic twinning. So it's a combination of pulling in third-party data plus our own data, real-time data plus our own synthetic data. So it's super exciting to do that.
Okay.
And just the only thing I'll add to that is the reason we're spending so much energy on video with LEM is because to us, that's the canary in the coal mine, right? If you can make video work, odds are, 99% of your other applications are probably going to work pretty well. And so that's why we're putting so much energy on that.
Yeah, well, that's makes a lot of sense. Video is really hard to do, even
Yeah,
in
for sure.
2025. Um, so the productization of all of this comes through the Marvis AI assistant. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this announcement is about, the Mist side of the house, and Marvis is the AI engine, the assistant, right? This was in the process. We were working on this, and the acquisition went through. And so we just, said, let's keep our heads down. Let's get this out the door. It's not going anywhere. It's important. We want to show innovation, et cetera. Ultimately, our goal is to integrate what's happening with this Marvis also with what's happening on Aruba Central, and also what's happening with GreenLake Intelligence and Agentic. So obviously, we have a nice framework there across both companies, where there is a better together story where we will eventually cross-pollinate and have both platforms get, features from each side. And ultimately, again, you wake up one day and whichever train you're on, you're now having a common experience. But obviously, it's so fresh right now. We're not there yet. So this specific announcement is to the Mist side of the house with the Marvis AI engine and assistant for sure.
Okay, great. So at this point, is there any of those capabilities that you would, highlight right now as something that changes the game, improves the business
In
case,
terms of cross
makes my
pollinate,
life simpler?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think the answer for that is not yet. Stay tuned. I think the best way that we want to, phrase this or cap this is kind of what I started with is self-driving, right? Ultimately, the journey and the goal is to be, self-driving and autonomous, so you can eliminate trouble tickets and, eliminate truck rolls and do that. And both the Aruba and the Juniper Mist platforms are on that journey. Right. And so, our goal is to come out and we will in the coming months and talk about how we'll take, this piece from here, move this piece here, and this piece here, and move this piece here. And again, ultimately they'll come together. But we wanted to make everyone very, very clear and comfortable that whichever journey you're on, you're good, right? It's not about taking away, it's about adding until ultimately they converge. And we're in a very unique situation, Jim, in that look, these are two leading solutions. It's not like we have, one that was not a leader, for example, if you look at the Magic Quadrant. So again, we have to do this. We want to do it expeditiously, but also we want to do it judiciously, right? We're not going to leave anyone behind on this one because there's too much market share. There's too much interest. There's too much, good features out there. And so we want to bring the best together.
Very good. Well, Jeff, thanks for the update. We'll keep watching.
Yeah. No worries, Jim. Always a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.